Hello, everybody. It's a happy Saturday, beautiful weather outside, and there happens to be a hockey game in this building that we're standing in right now, Candlelight Center. Jets.
And we are pumped.
They're taking on the Philadelphia Flyers.
It is the final Saturday game of the regular season for the Winnipeg Jets, and they come in. Good afternoon to so many of you.
Yeah.
Oh, Leslie, been a bit since I've checked in. Well, it's great to have you back. We're very happy that you joined us.
Leslie.
Yeah, very happy that you joined us here today as we get you set over these next 30 minutes for tonight's game. We are down to 4 when you include tonight.
Yeah.
With respect to the regular season, it is just a one-off here at home before the Jets head out on the road for their next 2 games. We are looking forward to having Dan Robertson join us in just a little bit. Brian Boucher to talk about the Flyers. Because
we don't talk about very often.
We don't. In fact, I think it was game 4 of the regular season was the last time that we really discussed them.
That was back in way back in October.
Way back in October. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was game 4 of the regular season when the Jets were in Philly. But these are 2 teams in need of 2 points, and both of them have certainly been on a roll of late.
If the Flyers are in a better position, obviously, because they sit in third in the Metropolitan Division.
Yep.
But they could fall out very quickly with a loss here today. So a lot on the line for them. The Jets, of course, hanging in there after a huge win in St. Louis the other night. Didn't look good to start.
No.
The early power play goal, and then nothing for St. Louis pretty much the rest of the way outside of a late goal in the third period. But, man, they took it to St. Louis after giving up that first goal, and the penalty kill was massive. They gave up that early goal and then went perfect 4 for 4 after that, including that late third period when St. Louis was trying to tie the game up. They didn't give up a shot. So the PK was locked in against St. Louis. The power play was huge on Monday against the
special teams certainly have played a role.
Yeah, special teams have been huge in this week with the Jets staying in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Yeah, we could talk about the goals that the Jets scored. We could talk about different plays, but let's focus in on one play in particular, because we always give credit to Connor Hellebuck, obviously, for the job that he does in net. But how about the job that Josh Morrissey did in the first period against the Blues?
Snuggerud for Robert Thomas for Holloway to the forehand, and he's denied at the goal line by Morrissey. What a play by Josh Morrissey.
You know the best part of that, though, is the crowd thought it was in. Like the reaction from the St. Louis Blues fans, they were like, it's in. And it was a great move by Holloway to get around Hellebuck.
It should have been in based on positioning.
But it was just a great save by Josh Morrissey. And Morrissey was, we talk a lot about the best players having to be the Jets' best players. Like it is Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, and Josh Morrissey. And we'll throw in Connor Hellebuck as well. Just taking the team on their back right now to keep them in the hunt in the Western Conference, which is still crazy. It's crazy out east as well in terms of the playoff race. So Dan Robertson, as we mentioned, will join us here momentarily, who just called that. That was his voice, in case you didn't recognize it. I'm sure people know Dan Robertson.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, so he'll bring us in take us inside that play.
Okay, so Jamie, though, has discovered something new that he can do on this platform.
Yeah.
And so we always love being able to hear from all of you and engage you in the conversations. We love knowing what your opinions are as well. So
we're just praying this works.
Here is what Jamie has come up with for today.
Okay,
he wants to put out a poll.
I stole this from Pierre LeBrun, because Pierre LeBrun talks about this all the time. The playoff format in the National Hockey League, he's not happy with it.
Right.
And it was a landslide in terms of people want it to change to the old format 1v8, 2v7. I can go down the list. So all you got to do in the chat is you have to just type 1, 2, or 3 in the chat, and hopefully this poll works. So what do you want to do with the playoff format? Do you want to keep it the way it is, do the old way 1v8, 2v7, or 3 1v8 plus a play-in? So the NBA does the play-in as well. It's the 7, 8, 9, 10 teams fighting over the 7, 8 seats. So it's up to you. Oh, it does work.
This is very exciting. You would think that we might have tried this out beforehand, but no. Any of you that have followed along know that that's not the way.
That's crazy.
That's not the way that we like to roll.
No, we don't. We do not test things before.
It's like, roll the dice here. We'll all find out together.
That is a beautiful technology. You just you just guess and see if this works. But okay, so thank you so much for playing with us, and just stay along with us. So if you're just joining us, 1, 2, or 3, type in the chat, and it will update the playoff format poll that we're doing here. So many thanks to Pierre LeBrun, who came up with this idea yesterday.
It is something, though. What would you like to see? What would your vote be?
I really like the way the rivalries have started back up again. but I'm a sucker for a tradition. 1v8, 2v7.
Yeah.
And I know the reason why the NHL did it. I understand, because you're trying to get the rivalries back. And sometimes the matchups were like terrible in terms of travel in the opening round. But man, 1v8, 2v7, there's just something about it. And I wouldn't mind the play-in, but I know Gary does not like any idea of what the NBA is doing in terms of the playoff format. So maybe we'll ask Dan Robertson about that momentarily here.
So a lot with this game here tonight. You mentioned that both of them obviously in. Oh, are we okay?
No, we're good. I just saw what's coming up next, so I got excited.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll talk about this while you are making your choices.
Oh, I made them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Jets have won 5 of their last 6 games. They have loved playing against the Metro division in terms of success this season. Philly, though, has had a lot of success against Central, so kind of a wash in that place. What are we on the lookout for in terms of milestones? We'll tell you tonight, because there could be many, and there certainly have been a lot this season, so why stop it now with only 4 games remaining? Mark Scheifele, 1 point away from 100, would be the first 2.0 player to hit that milestone.
Yeah.
And 2 points tonight would set a franchise record, which would overtake Marian Hossa.
I've not heard Marian Hossa's name in a long time.
Neither have I. So. Usually when you think of the Atlanta Thrashers and milestones and records, you think of Ilya Kovalchuk.
Yeah.
But no, Marian Hossa with that one. Kyle Connor milestone, 1 point, and it's 90 points for KC. Would be the 3rd time he's hit 90-point mark. That would be the most in franchise history. Gabe Vilardi, 1 away from 30 goals, would be the first time that the Jets have had 3 30-goal scorers since 28-19, when it was Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and who do you think? 28-19.
I'm blanking. 2019?
Yeah.
Laine,
yes,
right.
Good job. I knew you were going to get it.
Yeah. So hopefully Scheifele not only gets to point 100, but passes and puts himself in the Jets record book one more time, because he's done a lot of that so far this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You also know that in the month of April, we have been doing the Tim Hortons Hockey Challenge.
Right.
Okay. So usually we give our picks at the end, but we're going to do, we hope,
because there's a lot going on.
We hope that you have been playing along as well.
So go in the app.
Yeah.
Tim Hockey Challenge. You see, you got your picks. I went Yuri Slafkovsky from the Red Hot Montreal Canadiens. And then I went double Jets defense, Neil Pionk and Josh Morrissey.
Okay.
So the other night, Alex Iafallo scores in the first period. And what do I get in my text messages?
Right away.
Right, like instantaneously, even almost before the goal was scored. I get Sarah Oleski sending me a text with Alex Iafallo, whatever those things are called, gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
And then a wave from me.
Right.
Going,
yeah. Bragging as usual. I just right again. It's just me. Just little old me. I'm just right.
As you know, Jamie and I are very competitive with each. We're very competitive anyways.
Yeah.
We're really just competitive. We're very competitive with each other. So of course I had to take that opportunity.
Tim's Hockey Challenge.
Yep.
If you get 7 days in a row, not just game days, just do it 7 days in a row, 7 days of coffee. Free.
For
our friends at Tim Hortons.
Okay, so my choices were Gabe Vilardi.
Yeah.
Thought it was a great
King Clancy nomination. That makes sense.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Gonna go with Jamie Benn.
Okay.
Hasn't scored it's been about 4 games since he scored, but they're playing against the New York Rangers this afternoon.
Right.
And then I also went with the Jets D in Josh Morrissey.
Okay. We'll see who's right. Let's see who's right first. That's the best part. It's not even so much right. It's just who was first. Who were first of the day. That's part of the competition.
Let's take a look at the projected lines. The Jets did hold their morning skate today. The Philadelphia Flyers did not hold one.
Guess when you're in 3rd place in the Metro, you take the day off.
But no surprise with what we were seeing from these projected lines.
Yeah, no changes. Don't touch my 3rd line again. I'm really liking how that's looking right now. Top 6 looks fantastic. Jacob Bryson's been great since coming back in the lineup. And of course, Connor Hellebuck. He's starting his 20th game in the last 22 Jets games.
Yeah.
And throw in the Olympics in there as well.
I am going to be fascinated. So they play Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
In Utah. So back-to-back games, Utah and Vegas. I'm going to be fascinated to see what happens. If the Jets were to win tonight, what happens in those games when it comes to Connor Hellebuck?
That's a good question.
What do you think?
I still think they ride the Vezina / Hart Trophy winner the whole way.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're still in the, which they will be, they're going to be in the hunt. So it's going to be Connor Hellebuck the whole way. Understand people's perspective, but enough about me and what I think. It's time to hear what Dan Robertson thinks.
Oh, okay. which is what we're all waiting for, because if you were watching the TSN broadcast the other night in St. Louis, you know that it was eventually we were not able to hear Dan anymore.
So when that happens, my friend, how do you react? How do you handle that now? The way you handle things now, as opposed if that happens earlier in your career, what has changed about Dan Robertson?
Well,
where we are today.
I guess when you do it long enough, you realize that it's not the end of the world. And what happened? Our switcher in the truck froze. So I was trying to introduce the starting goaltenders, and we were on an exterior shot of a statue, and it just stayed there. So I thought, okay, this is.
Well, there's your Jets starting goaltender, the statue.
Yeah, they both look like a statue. So, I mean, part of it is you get frustrated, but who can you get frustrated with? Down on the truck, they're scrambling to try and get things together.
Mm-hmm.
So they just eventually made the call that we had to take the St. Louis feed because, I mean, it was a disaster. I tried to talk with Josh in one of the intermissions, and he couldn't hear me. And I just, you have bad dreams like that, So it happened actually in our first road game this year in New York. Against the Islanders, where we had to take the Islander feed. But you look at it in the big picture, it's frustrating because you go to St. Louis, it's a 1-game road trip, and you go there to do the game, and you can't even do half of it. So, but Kevin's like, yeah, let's just sit back and watch the game. I thought, yeah, okay, we're still getting paid, so that was part of it. My thing, selfishly, I didn't want to see Scheifele get his 100th point against St. Louis, and I don't really want to see him do it tonight either. So if they can win without him contributing offensively and then see him get a hat trick or something on Monday, that would be ideal. But yeah, things happen, but it's still frustrating when those things go down like that.
I loved your comment though to Josh when he wasn't able to hear you, and you said, well, and I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that, this is how most people respond when you ask them a question.
Yeah.
Just silence.
I was
Josh had no idea. You said it in his face, was like just rolling with his, like, he had heard you. That was awesome.
I felt bad for him. What was in my head, I'll tell you right now. And I was going to say, this reminds me of when I used to try to speak with my ex-wife, but, which isn't true, but there's comedic value in it. But I'm glad I didn't say it at the time, although I'm saying it now. So what's the difference?
Comment for the win. Did Dan and Kevin get paid for watching the game? As a matter of fact,
we did. Yeah.
Press box beers for Dan and Kevin. Is that how that worked?
Well, we were looking, but we couldn't find any.
And then Kenny's water bottle. I guess Winnipeg got Wi-Fi before St. Louis.
Yeah, that was. It was the truck. I think the truck was originally a black and white truck, so it was bad.
Okay, so as this weekend or this season winds down, and you're clearly you won't be doing the playoffs, but how are you approaching these last 3 games with the importance of what the Jets have in front of them?
Well, it's funny, Jamie. I said to Kevin the other night when we came on air, I feel like I'm just repetitive. This is a must-win. This is a must-win, right? And I'm repetitive, but it's true. I mean, not technically, it's not a must-win, but for all intents and purposes, it's been that way for a number of weeks. So when you think of it, I'm really impressed by the way they played under pressure collectively. They're much better defensively. I know that going into the St. Louis game, they had a 2.13 goals against in their previous 8, so that went down a little bit. So Kevin talked about the fact too that they're trying to play one game at a time, and that's cliche, but that's what they have to do and kind of hope they get some help around them. My thing is, and this is selfish too, I hope that Thursday here against San Jose is like a playing game. Like that'll be like a playoff game. So yeah, I'm sure that's what they're hoping for too. But it's just, I guess the way I'm looking at it is as I mean, I love doing this job, so I just hope they continue to win and it's exciting down the stretch. And I give them credit. I mean, they could have folded, although that's not in any team's DNA really. But they're like you said earlier, and another cliche. It's true. Their best players have been their best players, and that's really driven them here the last couple of weeks. Well, more than a couple of weeks now.
See, Jimmy, I agree with you that, and I was saying I was on a legal curve this morning, and one of my comments with the guys was that regardless of how this ends at the end of the regular season, whether they get in or not, I think that there should be a lot of optimism for Jets fans going forward. That yes, this season, regardless, has not turned out the way that anybody would have anticipated. You would have thought that they would have been in that fight for the top 3, or at least have been, not fighting for a second wildcard spot. But when you think of the push that they've made, I mean, they were last place in the league in January. Then you come back out of the Olympics and the job that they've done, there has been no quit. And while you say that, we don't often see quit in the DNA of most teams. I mean, we have seen some teams that have not performed well coming out of the break that
Seattle.
Toronto. I mean, you look at it, and I think that the push that we've seen from them and everybody kind of trying to do their own part, whatever that might be, I think that it shows promise. At least I think that you can look at it and go that this season was maybe more of an anomaly than it was something that you need to rebuild on. You just need to make some tweaks, but injuries played a huge role this season.
No, they did, and obviously that 11-game winless streak really bit them, and that's the problem. I mean, even you see them, they keep winning, but it's so hard to make ground. So it's just another reminder of, if you get down early, it's so difficult to make up that ground, even if you have a long time to do it. So, I mean, I think we all knew they were better than they were showing earlier in the season, and there were some injuries and guys playing hurt and that sort of thing. And I'm not trying to put a shine on something that doesn't deserve it. There's a lot of players who just didn't play up to expectations this year. And I'm speaking like the year's over. It's not, but the point is, it's nice to see them rallying now. And it's cool too to get a look at some kids. I'm disappointed that Salamonson got hurt because we knew he fit right in. So that's promising. Brad Lambert, he's still, he had that nice goal here against Seattle and showing some good things. I want to see continued stuff from him, but he's getting a look. And I think that's good because they're trying to find a playoff spot and implementing him as well. So there's always positives. Sometimes there's more than others, and we're seeing it here. I just hope, as I said, that they can, we'll see an Oilers win against the Kings tonight, and things will continue to be interesting down the stretch.
Dan, I know you've watched, and you certainly have talked to Gabe Vilardi a ton of times. A guy that does not like attention, but is extremely hard on himself, but gives so much of himself off the ice to the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Academy, and of course, Project 11. What have you got to know about Gabe Vilardi over the years? Of course, he's the Jets nominee for the King Clancy Memorial Trophy. What have you got to know about Gabe Vilardi in your time as a call on this team?
Yeah, you know what? I should spend more time talking to those guys. I try and give them their space more than anything, but just you get the sense that he is who he is, Jamie, and I like that. Like when you talk with him, and I think I can kind of glean some stuff from that. I can remember doing an interview with him on the road, and he said, it was right after the Olympic break, and he came back and he was on with me in an intermission. He said, I didn't like the break. He said, we're away from the rink too much, and that sort of thing. But I like how he speaks the truth. He says what he feels. So I think there's kind of a genuineness about him and an honesty that I appreciate, and you guys would concur with that, I'm sure. So I don't want to get too hokey here, but you see the King Clancy Award and things like that. Those are huge, right? Those, if you're a nominee, you have to wear that as a badge of honor, whether or not, and it's like the Masterton too that Taves is nominated for. Those are big deals that sometimes we don't look at as major awards, but if you can do things in the community like Gabe does, that's really important. That supersedes hockey. So good on him. He's a guy I really like. It's it's become sort of when he's interviewed, you never know what to expect. And I don't mean that to sound condescending.
No, it's not.
I like it. It's not canned answers, and it kind of speaks to who he is. So I think it's pretty cool.
All right. We've just found, as you might have saw a little bit earlier, we found one of the little gadgets on this platform, which is StreamYard, and it's this is a poll, and I'm sure you saw this the other day. It's popped up in the corner there, Dan.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with the playoff format? Do you want to leave it the way it is? Are you traditionalist, 1v8, or do you want that play-in like the NBA does as the third option there?
Well, I'll start with the worst option. That's a play-in. I mean, too many teams get into the playoffs now as it stands, I think.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm old enough where I can remember 1 versus 16, and
yes.
So those, I don't know, those. Well, last year it was 1 versus 16, wasn't it? The Jets and the Blues, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
So that's a reminder of how much there is parity. But I think, as you see, what is it? 85% now. People are saying 1 versus 2 versus 7. It just bothers me that we're going to see Dallas and Minnesota in the first round. It's going to be a great series, you would think. But both of those teams deserve to get an easier draw in the first round. It's such a grueling schedule.
Yeah.
For every team, what do you get for all of those wins and playing such strong hockey all year long? And we've seen the Jets run into that, having to play the Avalanche in the first round or Dallas in the first round over the years. So, it's never going to change. And I understand why people talk about it, but by the way Gary Bettman speaks and what the owners want, the way it is now will never change. But I would like to compromise with 1 versus 8 in each conference and go from there.
I think we agree.
You know how old I am? I remember the first round being best 3 of 5 for a couple of years.
Yes.
Which is not fair at all.
No. A quick one from Trace H5513. My fave is Gabe's questions back to his interview.
It's true.
Yeah. And that's fair, right? Like, why shouldn't he do that? I think it's pretty good.
All right, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you back to work on
But
Monday.
enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah.
I will. I know there's a lot of Flyers fans in this province, which I think is pretty cool and for good reason. So, there'll be some orange in the crowd, and that'll make for a fun atmosphere too.
Bobby Clark was my favorite player growing up.
I know.
Yeah.
Flin Flon, Manitoba.
This was a Flyers guy.
Yeah. Knew everything about him.
He still is. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
Bleeds orange.
Yes, I
joking.
do. Just not tonight.
That's right.
Not tonight.
Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
buddy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too,
Thanks,
pal.
Dan.
Talk to you later. Just gonna write Brian Boucher is joining us.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll do that. I do agree. I love all the comments that are coming up in here, and just going back to that idea that when Gabe questions the interviewers back, throws the question out. I also get a kick out of it when you ask him a question, he goes, "No, I don't think so."
Well,
And
today
it
he was
just
asked about did you grow up idolizing anybody that made you like kind of led you down this path of doing the extras at work off the ice? Like, no, like just now that I've got to know him, you pretty much can tell what the answer is going to be. If it comes to anything, you like how you've been playing, you know he's going to say no. Yeah, because he's very hard on himself that way. But today it was really nice to hear him be happy about the nomination because it is great, and he does great work off the ice. And because of his personality, it fits perfectly in with kids. Yes. He stopped short of saying he is like a kid. Today
and you know what? It fits in perfectly with Winnipeg too. I think he's been such a great fit here that you look at the benefits of that trade that Kevin Cheveldayoff was able to do. I don't think that many people would have anticipated it being paying off to the extent that it has. So it's great to see. It's great to see it, and for Vilardi to continue to grow his game and show that he can be a driver online. And continue to evolve his game.
Well, he just does so many great things, and he's so talented. And the fact that the Jets have been able to lean on him to get the second line going or help out the second line and get that secondary score that they so desperately need, it just speaks to everything that of how good of a player he is, and especially and now the stuff off the ice as well, helping with the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Academy. But so congratulations to Gabe Vilardi for that.
Yes. Okay. So while we wait for Brian Boucher, why don't we take a listen to? I had the opportunity to catch up briefly with Cole Keppke, which he almost outweighed me. Right. And then I found out. I thought, he's taking so long? Yeah. We're gonna blow it off.
Does that go in the interview?
And then then I discovered that he didn't look. So all the numbers get written on the board in the dressing room that players are supposed to check. He didn't check going in. So actually one of the Scott Brown walks by him and says, "Thanks so much for doing that." And so Cole says to me afterwards, he goes,
"I didn't even know.
I had no idea what he was talking about." He goes, "I hadn't looked at the board, so I just went, I don't know what he's talking about." Went back to eating, but we had the opportunity. No surprise, the discussion was about another must-win game here today. The importance of the 2 points and how big this game is going to be for everybody involved. We'll call home for one game, and obviously a huge game tonight for this Jets team as you try to continue to make that push for the second wild card spot. What do you need to see, or what are you hoping to see from this group here tonight?
I think kind of just a lot of the same that we've been doing. I think we need a big start, that's for sure. I think that's kind of been maybe our only thing we haven't been doing super well as of late, but we've been playing really well in our own end and as a group of 5 and defending well, and just got to keep the streak going, and we're fighting for our lives, and we just have to have that mentality going into every night.
What do you think it says about this group, the way that you guys have continued to fight, the way that you have shown up every game to make this race what it is?
I think it proves a lot of the resiliency and belief we have in the locker room. I think a lot of guys have probably touched on that throughout the year. That hasn't went exactly how we thought it would go, but we still believe in what we can do. And push comes to shove right now, our lives are on the line and we're going out and showing it. And obviously we wish we did a little bit earlier. We're in a more comfortable spot, but we still have a chance, and we're going to keep playing until the very last game.
One of the things that stands out is that this is a stretch where everybody has seemed to find a way to be able to contribute. You're not just relying on that top line. Everybody is finding a way. Do you agree with that? And what is it about this group as a whole that everybody is finding their own way to contribute?
Yeah, I agree for sure. I think we've been finding a few different ways to win, whether it be Scheif and KC in the top line getting goals, and then I don't even remember what game it was. The other night, we didn't have any 5-on-5 goals to start. We went 3 for 3 on the power play, and then the next night we go into St. Louis and JT had a goal and Al had a goal. It's like everyone's contributing, and it just kind of shows that everyone's fully bought in, and we have a lot of depth on this team and can find different ways to win.
Okay, so Philadelphia also, this is a key game for them too. So now you've got 2 clubs going at it where the 2 points are critical for them. What do you need to be aware of with this Flyers team? Because this is a team that, that the Jets last played game 4 of the regular season.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we played these guys, and I mean they're on a big streak right now, fighting for their lives, and they found themselves in a playoff spot right now, and playing good hockey, and they have some young skill on their team, obviously, and they score a lot, and that's what they've been doing, and we just need to be hard on their skill and try and shut them down and just be ready for a playoff game.
All right. Appreciate the time very much. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I appreciate? Your focus with the
Zamboni.
With the Zamboni, well,
because the interview happened so late.
Yeah.
We didn't really have the option. And so the Zamboni, usually it's Wade Flaherty that's making an appearance behind us in the interview. Today,
so all that fun, like, where's Wade is gone.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody else chirping in on that stuff. So they,
yes.
the organic stuff that goes on behind the scenes wasn't there, but that was still a great interview.
Right.
Because I don't usually hear what you guys are saying because I'm so busy focusing on where Wade with Flaherty is or who else is doing something else. Because as you know, my focus is awful.
The Jets do have success often on Saturdays. So if you want to cling, I mean, you could cling to a bunch of things. They did win against Philadelphia earlier. They have been playing, but well, obviously with wins in 5 of their last 6 games. We mentioned all this earlier, but also said that Philadelphia has been playing so well lately, one of the hottest teams from March 1st on. So there's a struggle. So we'll just go to randomness. Saturdays.
Yeah.
11-3-3 this season are the Winnipeg Jets. 5-0-1 in their last 6 games on a Saturday. They have played well on hockey nights. We'll see if it can continue tonight.
Yeah, it's incredible their turnaround, right? Since the Olympic break and how things have been going. And we also we're waiting for Mark Scheifele to possibly get his 100th point tonight. He has been involved in 44.6% of the Jets' goals this year. That's 4th highest in the National Hockey League. Guess who's number 1? Who factors in on almost every goal?
I couldn't even for
that's in Canada.
That's in blue and orange.
Blue and orange. Connor McDavid, almost 50%.
Yeah.
48.4.
Craziness. Let's take a look at where the standings are right now, just briefly before we go. I think that we might unfortunately be out of luck with Brian Boucher today, but you take a look at it. So the Jets are 3 points back. You want to keep in mind, LA, since we are all going to be scoreboard watching, LA plays at 3:00 today against Edmonton. Nashville plays at 4:00. They are hosting Minnesota. So we will have an idea before the Jets finish about what movement we might have seen with respect to the wild card race and how important it is.
Maybe Wade was driving the Zamboni.
That would be fantastic. That'd be so great. Okay. Kenny's water bottle. I love that idea. You know, I might suggest it. Wade, you never know what he's going to come up with.
Yeah.
Also, when you look at remaining schedule, so Winnipeg is, we mentioned after tonight, we'll play back-to-back games in Utah and Vegas and then come home. They will close out the regular season on Thursday against the San Jose Sharks. LA, remaining games, Edmonton today, Seattle, Vancouver, and Calgary.
Oof.
Nashville's remaining games, Minnesota, San Jose, and Anaheim.
Okay, that's way harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens for it. Hellebuyck set to make his 8th consecutive start. He said 20 out of the last 22.
Yeah.
For it. So no surprise that with everything on the line that the Winnipeg Jets are going to ride their starting netminder.
Yeah, he was great. So good in St. Louis the other night. You just never go wrong with that one. But I think good signs are as we lean on more things. The power play got going on Monday. The penalty kill was great on Thursday. So why not make it more interesting and win again here tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers?
Yeah, we do have great news as we wrap things up for Winnipeg Jets fans. Fan appreciation sale is going on right now at the Jets Gear store. You got to like that.
Yep.
Either in person or you can go online. It's through April the 16th. 30% off most in-stock items. So you want to be able to take the opportunity to load up and do some of your shopping right now. Get some new Winnipeg Jets merchandise. I was up there earlier today, actually, and I was talking to some of the women in the store, and they said that they have had some people call about whiteout gear.
Okay.
And they said, look, we need to clinch a spot.
Well, we had a playoff meeting the other day.
It was a meeting, not playoff meeting, because you're not.
Try not to jinx it.
You try not to jinx it yet.
Okay.
But the great news is 30% off most in-stock items. So make your way to Jets Gear Store or the online website.
Many thanks to Dan Robertson and, of course, Cole Keppke for doing the interview he didn't know he was doing.
That's right.
He did a great job. Many thanks to Wade Flaherty for driving the Zamboni the right way. And great job by Sarah Lesky as well and her input in this broadcast.
Our final selections, again, if you remember, so we've decided first off that everybody that if it was up to all of us taking part, they'd go back to a 1v8 for the playoffs is what we have.
Oh, it's massive. It's a runaway.
There you go. And we want to make sure that you are also taking part in the Tim Hortons challenge.
Yeah.
And our picks for today, mine were Gabe Vilardi, Josh Morrissey, and Jamie Benn. Jamie's were
Slokowski.
Yep.
Pionk, Morrissey.
All right. We're going to see.
We'll see. We'll just, Sarah will put it out on Twitter or something like that, brag about it if she gets something right. So
maybe.
Oh, we see. Comment for the win soup pick that Brian Boucher was our choice.
Yes.
For this situation, the responsibility to tell everybody what his favorite soup was, but didn't work out. I think we didn't do it last show either. And Dan has already done it.
Right. You can only go back to that well so many times.
Just maybe different types a year. Like Paul can talk about soup, no problem. I can ask Paul anytime about what soup he's doing today, and he can make some, come up with some different way to tell you beef and barley.
Yeah.
But he'll do it in an enjoyable way and informative.
It's fantastic. Yeah. It's a soup show.
That's why.
And whenever the off season hits,
yeah.
What you all don't know is that Jamie and I are going to start doing a morning show.
Yeah.
And it's going to have many food segments in it. Cooking with Jamie and Sarah.
Oh.
Soup with Jamie and Sarah.
Can you imagine?
Having seen both of us cook.
My kids are like, my wife's out of town and the kids are like, don't even know what to do. They look they're on edge because they're like, are we going to die? Because Dad's cooking.
Are we going to eat today? Are we not?
Are we going to eat today? My daughter just texted me and said she had craft dinner for lunch, but it's the ones in those little containers that you microwave. Don't worry, I'm coming home to save the day. I'll be right home,
I hope you guys all have a fantastic day today. Thanks so much. We always love having you in the chat. It's great.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game tonight. It should be a great one between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Winnipeg Jets. Just a reminder that it is a Sportsnet game and it is a 6 p.m. game today, so you do not want to miss opening puck drop.
Oh yeah, cookbook. That's another idea. Jamie's cookbook. I know how to make like 5 things.
Okay, very quickly. Yeah. I have said to you before that if groceries were not so expensive, what I would love to do is go back. There's a great Instagram account that goes over 70s dinner party foods or 70s foods.
Okay.
Because everything back then, was in some sort of Jell-O mold, or you just look at it. It's traumatizing. But I would get such a kick out of making them and then having you test them.
Oh, yeah, you would want to make something and I got to try it.
Yes.
Okay, we could do that next year. I'll do that.
For it.
I'll do it.
You all heard it here.
Yeah, I'll do it for sure. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We got to go.
Okay,
thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for checking in.
Need to do it. See, I knew people would love that.